This was one thing that I ran into with an oil leak that caused a lot of problems, and I could not figure it out. At high speed, the engine was missing. It would cut out, and I could not figure out what was doing it. What the problem was is that I had a leaking oil seal on this side of the crankshaft. It's an oil seal right here. There's an oil seal on the variator side. This was leaking just a little bit due to the fact that the crankshaft was not true or out of round a little bit, and it was widening the seal opening, and little drops of oil, just a tiny bit, would fall onto the windings. And what they would do with the windings is that when you get enough oil on the windings, they short out the alternator to where it's either not producing the power that it should, or it's not good for it. So what I did was I looked underneath here. You see where the oil leak is right there? And you know, another thing is I look at the oil leak and I say to myself, all right, is that burnt oil? Is it exhaust oil? Is it part oil and part antifreeze? And then I look up underneath here and I can't see what I can't see what you're looking at. But I look for where the oil is coming from. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, could it be one of the bolts? These bolts are specially machined to go all the way through the case. And if you've ever seen my old videos on it, these aren't just put in there normally. They're bolted all the way to the other side of the case, which is a rare thing, but it seemed to work out pretty good. So maybe one of those is loose. And then I'm going, what could cause all of the symptoms that I went through on that last ride? What could cause all of that? And how can I fix it? So these are just some of the things that you can do. I mean, you like your Dios or little motorcycles. If you listen hard enough, your motorcycle will tell you what's wrong with it. If you just go through your checklist and really think about the problem, you could have a loose spark plug, all right? You could have up in here the little tiny copper part that fits, the little spring that fits onto the spark plug. It could be broken, but you wouldn't know it. You could have a little breakage up here. You could have a little bit of oil on some of the leads. You know, it can be some little piddly bullshit thing that can cause all these problems. And I know I'm talking too much and I'm kind of tired, but one problem I had was my bike was missing, and I was using my longer plug that I use for my 54 millimeter round cylinder instead of the short one which goes with this SEF. And so the plug was sticking into the cylinder about 1/4 of an inch where it shouldn't be sticking into there at all, and it was causing detonation. But it took me forever to figure that out because it was just something that I didn't think about, and I passed it over. And that's part of the fun with playing with the little bikes. It's a hobby. They're not a lot of money. Where I live, this is probably the only one like this in my state, Washington State. And a lot of people look at it and they go, boy, that's kind of neat. You know, it's different. Plus, when I go to race cars or something like that, I blow their doors off. And when in the United States, when you say blow their doors off, it means that you go by them so fast that the vacuum actually, the vacuum of your passing takes their doors and blows them off their car. It's a sign of, it's a big insult if you can do that. It's even bigger insult if some kid's got some hot Lexus or Honda car and I kick the shit out of them with a Honda 50. Okay.